Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear this with the stream in the background. The stream here is the Buffalo National River in Arkansas. We're paddling the Buffalo. Maybe you see the camp in the background, the kayaks. And we're pretty far upstream. Let me turn you around so you can see that. Pretty far upstream here. The buffalo is maybe more of a buffalo calf at the moment, but still plenty fun to kayak and on occasion push down. The thing we're going to discuss is how these streams erode, in this case the buffalo, how they erode the landscape that they're in, how they move sediment around. In an earlier video, the one of the Kansas River, we spoke about sandbars and gravel bars and how they can have that process of imbrication, where the deposition process leads to sort of stacking of cards in the direction of flow. Well, you can see the direction of flow right there, and so that gives you an expectation, I think, of how the imbrication should have stacked the cobbles and the gravel, and yes, it has. Stacking along the direction of flow, right? Very clearly. And once you see it here, you see it everywhere. They are all dominantly stacked like this. So we're going to take that one step further now and realize that if you're a river that's eroding, and I'll show you the hill slopes around this stream. This stream is definitely eroding. It is lower. It is lowering itself into that landscape. But you cannot do that as long as there are cobbles on the rock that you're trying to erode, on the landscape that you're trying to erode. If you are constantly dumping gravel on top of it, or even if you're not constantly dumping it, but if there is constantly gravel on top of the bedrock, then apparently you're not eroding bedrock. So to find places where streams like these erode actually into their landscape, we must look for situations where they do not have that cover of gravel. And those situations exist, of course. And here's one. You see a beautiful piece of, let's see where my finger is here, right there. A beautiful piece of bedrock here, and you can then recognize it underwater as well. There's more a little further downstream under this giant overhanging rock. So this is where, at least temporarily, the bedrock is not protected by piles and piles of gravel and cobbles, and so the river has access to that bedrock to try and damage it, try and erode it, and try and pick it up and transport it further downstream. The other side of the medal, though, is if you just have water flowing over bedrock, that's not going to do much damage, does it? It will, over time, perhaps dissolve it, especially in this case, because this is limestone. Limestone does dissolve, slowly but surely. But what would really work if you had some sanding material, some small amount of finer material, not gravel per se, although gravel would work very well, but even sand will do. That would allow the water to sand and grade down that bedrock. And we don't see that very well here. But those are conditions where the weathering of bedrock is optimal. The situations where there's not a huge amount of sediment on top of the bedrock, protecting the bedrock, but at the same time where the bedrock isn't completely clean and has simply water flowing over it, because that doesn't allow it to damage it enough. What we need is that optimum in the middle where you have a little bit of sediment and not too much. We call this the cover and tools theory. The cover and tools theory. The cover, of course, is when you cover too much of the bed, the tools is when you have just enough available, just enough coarse material available to grind down and sand down all of our bedrock. All right, that's it for now. See you.